Yes, I know. I am late AF. I know it's going to be a week, like a week difference that I just now posted my thoughts about it. But hey, better late than never, I would say. We still don't trust you by Metro Boomin and Future. One thing I gotta say, this album caught me off guard, but in a confused and a good way. Like confused in a good way. All right, let me explain the overview real quick. So, this album is solid of what it did, but it just caught me off guard of how it was handled, and that's the only thing because overall it's a good album. I would say this is a good solid 8, which I would say it's a little bit, like I'm not gonna say it's like I'm being generous. It's like how I honestly feel with this album comparing to the first predecessor of We Don't Trust You, because I thought it was going to be the same production of how it was with the first album, but this album took a different approach and a different turn, which is not, no, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It just caught me off guard, but in a good way, because I did enjoy this album fairly through. So overall, this album, it has two different discs in this album. So we have like the first disc with Future and Metro. It's like what you call it? It's like 25. It's like in this a really nice quality and production, overall good stuff. So it's like 19, it was like 18 or 19 songs, somewhere 18 songs, like around there, are all just R&B melodic feel type of album. That's what it is here. Like most of the production feels so laid back, R&B type, and really so melodic, which is like not a bad thing at all. Like I feel like it's good regardless. Like it just sounds great. I am aware that Future has made another R&B album before this, so you know the production was great. It just caught me off guard of like how the rest of the album was turning out to be just like that. It's really similar, but too different, or not too different, a little different and a little bit distant from one another. And it does have some The Weeknd features there too, so that complements each other very well, because Future and The Weeknd, I feel like they're a good duo. I feel like they can make a really solid R&B album, especially with that Metro production too. But yeah, and the second disc just like goes hard. It just feels more so. It feels like now, like the disc two of like with the 7 8 songs, it feels more so of We Don't Trust You from the first predecessor album, in my opinion. So overall, it's a okay type of sequel, and I'll go over it real quick with all these songs. We Still Don't Trust You caught me off guard of how the tone and the atmosphere changed from this first start of the album compared to the first one, which I welcomed it. Welcomed the Weeknd's feature in there too. Drinking Dance is really nice in my opinion. I wanna do it, drinking dance, drinking again. Like Future really popped off on that one. And Out of My Hands, wasn't really a big fan of that one, but Jealous, I love that one. The instrumentals that Metro used on that one was really solid. Like I love how really distant it was, and then Future just compliments that of like I'm gonna jealous. Like I love how Future just projects his voice on different angles of what Metro is producing on this, and that's another thing too. Because even though it's all like the same type of feel, Future really just like goes along of how Metro is producing the beats, if that makes sense, and it's good in my opinion, because I don't want it to be too similar, to be a little bit more distant and all that. This Sunday, wasn't really that much of a fan of, even though it correlates to Feel No Ways. Wasn't feeling it, because overall, like, it's because that song came out first, so it's like if you put these two songs together, it's like, for me personally, I would love I would love it either way, but it's just like whatever was released first at the time, if that makes sense. Love Bad Bitches is a good one too. Brownstone really goes intimate on that one too. Love all the production that he put on that one. Amazing interlude. That's honestly my favorite. Like my favorite part of this album, just the interlude. If that makes sense. Like I just like how it just sounds really weird. It's like dun 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 dun. It's like really. It sounds like out of distant like dinging bells or something like that. I don't know. It just sounds right to me for some reason. I just love it. All to myself, really good one. I think this is the one where like the weekend just goes the hardest of like making a subliminal diss to Drake. I'm like, oh, okay, he going a little bit on that, and to nights like this, compliments from the predecessor beforehand to this one. Future goes really well on that with again with Metro's production because they were such a good duo. Come to the Party wasn't really there for me. It's good, but it really was not there for me. Right for You sounded really good too. Just sounded like a well, not a desperate Future because he's he's the goat man on getting these bitches. But yeah, I like with the production on that one, and especially with how lyrically not Metro, how Future is trying to. Not he sounds a little bit too desperate of like how he's just trying to get right for this one girl and everything. But overall, it's really nice. It's like a desperation of like I'm doing better. I want to do this right. I'm trying to get right for you. I'm trying to fix myself, type shit. High, mile high memories sounds toxic as fuck from Future, and that's why I like it. That's why I like it. Okay, sorry about that. Gracious Overload, Beat It, Always Be My Fault, and then One Big Family. They're all okay, so all kind of sound similar but also distant. At the same time, I don't know if it's just like a me thing, but I know with Beat It and Always Be My Fault sounds a little bit more hip hoppy, which I really don't mind that. Switch things up a little bit because for the most part, for the production with like Gracious and Overload and all that stuff beforehand sounds too similar, but also not at the same time. Goes and all to show like how creative but also uncreative like the sounding can go. But I'm not saying that just like to talk shit to Metro because I do love the production overall because he's doing great work. And then I want to talk about the last one with the second disc. No, last disc is Red Letter. Really chill and laid back, I would say, especially with J. Cole's verse because he does have a lot to say on this one. Especially with how he didn't want to make with 7 Minute Drill with it because it really doesn't sound like he had his full heart into it when he produced or released released my deleter later. Oh my god, I was about to say, how do I forget the album that he just released? But overall, made a direct response from that, and overall, just give some bits of fans like closure on that because he's kind of on hot water right now. So I don't know if he's looking to go on switching sides from Drake to Dustin Kendrick and now being on the album. Kind of just shows a lot with the hip hop game, man. Weird stuff. This too goes really hard with all 7 or 8 of the songs, especially with the intro of these. I don't know if these like are like the podcasters or whatever they're talking about, like the big three, but it's more so the Fantastic Four with Future having the same level of impact, which I can argue to say he does. I feel like each artist has their own impact of hip hop. And with Future being on the discussion because it was just like more so of like Drake and Kendrick and Cole, but really nobody was talking about Future. So there is an argument to be made with Future being one of the influential artists of all time, and especially being on the same table, should be on the same table with Cole, Lamar, and Drake. I would say, yeah, he deserves to be discussed on the table too. Not saying that he shouldn't be, but for me, I haven't really listened to a lot of Future. But if the general audience would do agree on that, shouldn't really disagree. It's all opinions here, man. Gotta respect one another. But yeah, it goes really hard. It goes really deep and really intimidating, and it picks up to Nobody Knows My Struggle too, because bro, this man goes hard that he does not know. Nobody knows his struggle, because Future is out here hustling, doing what he's doing, man, putting in that work, putting in that time to craft his fucking music, man. And I love how like that's like the type of energy he's just like giving me, and it's good, man. I love the correlation, especially with introduction that leads into the beginning of the next song, like the American Dream to All of Me from 21 Savage's American Dream album. Love that stuff. But All My Life goes hard too, especially with Lil Baby being the feature. I didn't expect this at first because again, Metro and Future didn't like put out the features, so it caught me off guard to hear his Baby's verse in there, and he goes hard as fuck too, with not trusting nobody and not giving a damn about it, man. And it's been a minute since I heard Lil Baby actually perform really good lyrically, and I'm not throwing that to those shades. It's just how I'm just feeling about that, man. Cross Out is really good too. Really goes along with Crazy Climb Meta or something like that, with the uptight, upbeat, fast production on it. Goes really well with each other, mixed well. Show of Hands wasn't really my favorite because of Rocky's verse with the production that went along with it. Overall, it's good too. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it really wasn't my favorite in that album because I like the production with that goes with Rocky's verse really didn't sit right with me. Like it was nothing but what he said. It was just more so of how the production for his verse was produced, and it really didn't stick with me on that. But last but not least, Streets Made Me King. This is the best song besides Nobody Knows My Struggle and All My Life in the second disc, because I love, like, this is another thing too. I love songs that, especially with like album wise, when the first song, like, not the first song, but like song starts off like heavy and aggressive at first, switches up, dials back a little bit, take it a little breather, and then goes hard on more for the rest of the track. I love it so much because Future goes crazy. Man goes fucking, like, he goes ballistic, man. Like I don't know what to tell you guys. Like Future goes really hard. Like, okay, let me real quick like read a bar real quick. It's got my bomb on my hand, telling that man, yeah, or yeah, wait, no, not that one. I'm reading off of a different one. Okay. He's over here saying fucking, oh wait. Okay, so the intro goes, 5,000 pounds and a treasure, I'ma get 'em all. Walking off the avenue, your polo came up serving raw. For the Constitution, bitch, I grew up in the drug zone. All the pro decision, who you know a N-word, love gone. Like, goes hard immediately, and then dials back with the metro tag. And then, chorus and everything goes fucking hard for the rest of the fucking song. And and the outro, great too. Like I literally listen to this every single day. Like I'm not even joking. This is possibly like the equivalent of Like That from We Don't Trust You. If that makes sense, man. Cause Future just goes all in, and Metro goes crazy with a beat on this one. Like the like I said, a good fucking pair, a good fucking duo for this album. And I gotta say, overall, it's really good. I just expected something a little bit different, which it is different. I just didn't like how it was consistent but on two different directions. I kind of wanted to be one direction with a mixture of these songs combined, all the mixtures of these two discs spread across all over the album, instead of being first disc to have all this R&B melodic type of beat production, and then the second disc going all just trap, rap, and all that stuff. If it was mixed in together with all these songs, it would be great. Like, that would be fantastic, at least for me, because I do love consistency and then inconsistency, but like, since they're both kind of intertwined a little bit, it kind of messes me up a little bit, because it's just like, on one hand, I want to listen to this sound like this. I want to listen to one specific sound that sounds like this, and instead of like it's just on my mood, I guess. It's just depending on how I'm looking at it, but hopefully that kind of makes sense of how I was trying to look at this prospectively in this album. But overall, it really does great. You know what? I'm gonna change. Wait, yeah, I'm gonna give this album. I'm gonna actually give this album a good solid 8.5 out of 10. Okay, final review on it. You know, I just wish it was just a little bit more, just like We Don't Trust You, with like more features. I feel like that would do it for me. Just a little bit more features and more trap rap songs, and I feel like this album would have been a perfect solid 10 for me, in my opinion. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment sections about We Still Don't Trust You, if you love it, if you hate it, and all that good stuff. And not, that's okay with me. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Santiago239, and I hope y'all have a wonderful morning, night, day, evening, whatever the occasion is. Take care, stay safe, and all that good jazz. But anyways, guys, later.